Hello, fourth grade students and families. This is Mrs. Kennedy again, and I'm back with another video about how you can find the degrees of an angle using fractional parts, or we can call those units. A circle measures 360 degrees, and so we've taught the boys and girls that. If a circle is divided into equal parts, or you can think of those as units, you can then have fractional units, and you can divide 360 degrees by that unit. So we started by using angles and parts, finding their measure, and adding them up to make up 360. Okay. So we actually use physical angle wedges. And then we added in the math and the fractional piece. So if you look up on this sheet, it's letting you know that one whole circle measures 360 degrees. But let's say you take that circle and you have a fractional part of that circle be divided into halves. Well, the measure of each half in degrees is 180. Because if you take two parts, equal parts, and divide that circle up into two, you're going to get 180 and 180 to equal a sum of 360. Okay? If you took that same circle and divided it into thirds, so 3 equal parts, the 1/3 angle of that circle would measure 120 degrees, right? And that 120 degrees, when you add all three of those together, end up making 360. So the measure of a 1/3 angle of a circle would be 120 degrees. Okay. And also I want to go back to that 1/2. That is called a straight angle, and the boys and girls have been taught that. Anything larger than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees would be considered an obtuse angle. And the boys and girls have learned that as well. All right, so if I take a circle and I divide it into 4 equal units, or 4 equal parts, that will be 1/4 of a circle. And that 1/4 of a circle makes a special angle, makes a right angle, which measures 90 degrees. The boys and girls have learned that 90 degrees, or a 90-degree angle, is a right angle. All right, so let's look at the next ones. Now, my pictures aren't quite perfect on the 1/5, but I tried. Okay, but you can evenly divide a circle into 1/5, or into fifths rather. And 1/5 of an angle would measure, you got it, 72 degrees. And because 5 72s would equal to 360. Okay, we call that angle an acute angle. Any angle that is less than 90 degrees is considered an acute angle. All right, 1/6 of an angle of a circle would measure 60 degrees. Okay, because it takes 6 60s to make 360. And of course, that is an acute angle. And the last circle I have here is 1/8 of a 1/8 angle of a circle. Okay, and 1/8 of an angle of a circle measures 45 degrees, excuse me. Because if you take 8 equal parts of a circle, it would divide evenly 45 times. So its measure is 45 degrees. Okay, so I just went on with that same pattern. I let the boys and girls know that if you find those math relationships between multiplication and division, for example, if a circle is cut into 1/9, okay, or units that make up 9 equal pieces, how many degrees is each angle? Well, if I know I have 9 equal parts, then 9 divided into 360 will give me 40 degrees. So a 1/9 angle is equal to 40 degrees. All right. The same thing goes with a 1/10 angle. Okay. A 1/10 angle is 36 degrees because 10 can be divided evenly into 360, 36 times. So a 1/10 angle is 36 degrees. And then the 1/12 angle is equal to 30 degrees because 12 can be divided evenly into 360 degrees 30 times. Sorry, I was reading my writing and I didn't write the T in into. So I'm going to just add it right there. Okay. So I'm hoping that this tutorial would be helpful if boys and girls are trying to find the angles, the fractional angles of a circle. Please reach out to your child's teacher if you think they need some more help or practice in this. And just know that they may actually be asked to find, let's say, for example, let's go to 1/6. Let's say they may be asked to find, well, what would be the angle of a 4/6 fractional circle? Okay, what would be 4/6? So they would have to take that 60 degrees and add it up 4 times or multiply it by 4 to get the answer. So it would be 240 degrees if you take 60, 60, 60, and 60. Okay, so they may be asked to add multiple parts when they're finding out the fractional parts. So it might not just be one unit. It may be a combination of two 2/6s or 3 1/8. Okay. All right. I hope that was helpful. That is something that was a little challenging that we've done in this unit. And so I wanted to make an additional video for that because that may be challenging. And we sent a study guide home with just general terms that they'll need to know for geography to help them. But with this, I wanted to make an actual video so that it would help them help you understand what they were taught in class. Okay? Thank you.